Hi, welcome to this episode of the Soul Legacy TV podcast and radio show, The Soul Legacy Movement, with me, Iona, founder of the SoulLegacyAcademy.com. So thank you so much for joining us. I am your host for the Cheers to Financial Freedom Frequency Tele-Chat series for soul-guided entrepreneurs. So I am featuring, if you haven't seen an episode, I have lovely Tara, who I will introduce in just a second. We are missing a guest, but hopefully she'll come on in just a second. So I'm featuring legendary light leaders who are joining me from all over the world, blazing the trail and illuminating the pathway for you. So we do this episode with love and fun, and we really are excited to share what I call soul path alignment gifts and shifts. So we are going to be raw and very real. We are going to be busting through the myths, like all the stories that you've been told, what works and what doesn't work, and just really come out from behind closed doors and share our journey to what we're doing today, right? So that's kind of what this episode is known for. So you can experience more ease, grace, and flow in your light work, your lifestyle, and your world life. And if you want to come into the conversation with like minds, do comment down below. We will get to any questions that are underneath the chats on the YouTube and in the Soul Legacy Movement Facebook group. So I say, change your tribe and change your vibe, right? So if you want to join me in the after show, then you can. #conversations with Iona. So without further ado, welcome, Tara. Hi.
Hi, Iona. Thank you so much for having me today. And hello, anyone viewing?
Thank you for your patience. So we love Tara, obviously. Tell us where you're tuning in from in the world, and then I'll give you an introduction.
Oh, where I'm tuning in from? I thought you were asking the audience. I'm tuning in from northern Wisconsin, and it is a beautiful fall day here. Sunny, and the leaves are super colorful, and this is just 30 miles south of the upper Michigan border. So I'm way up there, not far from Canada.
Yeah, also Canada comes up again. We had a guest who was on in Canada at 1 o'clock in her morning. And I had to look up where you were today. Barry saw the woods when you tried to get me into your live yesterday, because you do transformation with Tara. And your view is absolutely amazing. So for those of you who are familiar with Tara, welcome.
It's right here. Go through the window. It's so amazing.
Oh my gosh.
So beautiful.
So our guest, Gina, she was living in the forest like you, so you guys should hook up and get together.
Yes, I do live in the forest.
So for those of you who are new to Tara, I want to give her a really warm welcome, because I believe she really deserves this. And so Tara Nolan is a transformational business and life coach who believes in living your truth and living your life, right? So Tara guides driven professionals, entrepreneurs to reach higher levels of success, fulfillment, and do so with balance, flow, and ease. So you can see why I brought her on the show for you. So after over a decade in corporate business and another decade in yoga, she looks younger than that, right? She uses the tools of Eastern philosophy and her worldwide yoga studies to take a holistic approach to modern business. She is an empowered businesswoman, a spiritual yogi, a world traveler, single mama, and I have had the blessing of seeing your daughter, a nature lover residing in the Northwoods cabin. And she also lives with dedication to define success on her own terms, creating positive impact and celebrating life daily. Now, wow. Welcome. So, Tara, before we dive into sharing the gifts, and they will be your gift today, I will announce it. It will be underneath this episode or around in the show notes. So go and grab that, because we're going to have a conversation. Grab it and add to this conversation. So before we do that, can you share a little bit about how your journey has unfolded to obviously be in the woods, and how you're doing what you're doing today?
My life was completely different than this just 10 years ago. I was in corporate America. I was living downtown Chicago. I had a corporate apartment in the West Loop, the financial district, and lived in high rises often. After that, I had a townhome in Milwaukee. At one point, I had both. And I was in the financial industry in sales. And I guess I'll go right to it. What happened is one day my life changed. I had been looking really successful on the outside. I was the top salesperson in my company in North America. I was promoted several times into upper management. And what happened is that I looked successful to everyone else, but inside I was actually struggling. And I mean, I had this beautiful home, I had the job, I had the boyfriend. I just looked like, everything was great, but I wasn't fulfilled. And I spent my nights and weekends full of anxiety, coming home to that glass of wine, cigarette, and just like whatever I had to do to let go of the stress of the day when I wasn't still working more and catching up on work. So my dear friend, since 5 years old, was driving a motorcycle to northern Wisconsin and was hit by an SUV on a county road in the middle of the day. And shortly after that, he died. And when I heard the news that he died, I desperately mourned his loss, but I also recognized my own mortality. And I decided that with his death from that day forward, my life would not be the same, because it really could happen tomorrow. Like, you really can go tomorrow. So if that's true, like tomorrow you're gone, then what are you doing today? And I realized my life wasn't what I wanted it to be. And I was living by other people's standards, trying to still make my parents proud and trying to live by societal standards and norms. And it wasn't what was feeding my heart and soul. So I took off. I left my multiple six-figure career with no plan of how to make an income again, no idea what was going to be next. And I left my boyfriend. I told my family. I rented out my house, and I went on a journey alone around the world, seeking for something, and I didn't even know what.
Yes, I hear you. How many of you guys hear you? And I want you to still carry on that your story and your journey. And it's not just a story; it's a journey of that transformation. That's why you say transformation with Tara. And I, obviously, you guys know it's the Soul Legacy TV is about leaving your legacy. So Tara, and having that experience, you decide, okay, this is not the experience that I want to have, and this is not the footprint that I want to leave in life. And you just know that actually there is more. If this was going to be my last day, what would I be doing with it? So you can see why not only are we connecting, but we've had those emotional moments together off camera, like, wow, I honor you for picking yourself up. I honor you for being brave and bold and just, excuse me, taking that leap of faith. And if you're in that kind of situation, then, you're in a collective and we're holding space. So please do keep sharing, because I'm like, wow, for those of you who don't know Tara, and if you do know this story, it's powerful.
Well, I think that what we can come to realize, like collectively, is that we're all so much alike. We've been in the same places. Like, I'm just like you, and I'm just like, I'm sure many of the people watching, that we've worked hard to get ahead, and we've tried to do our best by being like the good girl or boy. And sometimes it takes being a rebel. Like, I was just living the norm and working my way up, but I was really risking my health and my heart. I don't know what it would have led to. So I did something different. And with that, I do have lessons to share, because they were extremely life-changing, and my life truly was never the same. Wow. In my spiritual journey, and I didn't know it was a spiritual journey at the time, I would have never even called it that. But now I would say I was seeking out healing and yoga, and I did everything from cranial sacral on the beach to the top spas in the world, luxury places. And I really found something different, and that was clarity. and I allowed myself to dream. And I hadn't done that in a long time. And it was hard because my head was fighting my heart.
Yeah.
So my heart was like, well, what if you could just dream? What if you could just like travel the world and teach yoga? And my head was like, are you freaking crazy? Like, like you're like a money driven person in the corporate world and you've got to make a living and build. And I was like, shush up, mind. Just listen to the heart for a moment. It's been a long time since my heart had a chance to speak.
Breathe and speak and open and expand. So when you were doing the different things, so you were doing that exploration on the spiritual journey. So were you already doing you said you were introduced to yoga. Who introduced you to yoga and what was that process like? Because I know it's been very instrumental in your life. And one of your people were in the Facebook group, so hey to you. She was looking out for the interview earlier and she said that she's from your area and she does yoga as well. So I want to know what that looks like because I love yoga, but I don't do it consistently.
Well, I had done yoga, but not consistently also, probably since I was 25, but here and there. I was living in Chicago. I'd go to a hot Bikram class, or when I was working my way up in corporate America, I might get a class in once a week on the lunch hour or whatever, morning or night, but it was my solace. Like, I didn't know what it was, but I felt better after I did the practice. But I had no understanding that there was a spiritual side of yoga. I didn't even get what that meant. So I was seeking for like, how is yoga spiritual? Like it's a class where you exercise. I didn't get it. So I went on this teacher training in Bali at the time. And now that's why I'm so passionate about leading my own teacher trainings, because I want to share that this deeper philosophy is really a guidelines. It provides a set of guidelines by which you can live your life to be happier and to live true to who you are in your heart, which it's all about that authenticity. And when I was learning that in my yoga teacher training, it woke me up inside to say, yes, this is what I really believe. This is what I've been searching for. This is who I've always been. Like, be who you are and without apology. Without judgment. Or worrying about judgment.
So you were traveling and obviously now you've got your daughter, like you say, you're single mama. So when you were doing your teacher training and now you're online, so you wouldn't have been online. So how does that work, that transition to doing the business? Because it's life and business, and we'll share your gift in just a second. But how do you make more decisions? Like, do you crave for more? That's enough. People said, can you teach me that? How does that work? Being a single mom, there'll be single moms that are listening. How do you juggle that family life and then say, I'm traveling, I'm doing this? You're making decisions based on following your heart. How do you make it practical?
It didn't always work practically.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking.
It was amazing that I made a shift and I literally lived out my dreams, because my dream was to travel the world and teach yoga and just like experience more in life. And I did that for about 10 years. But I can tell you that I took a step back financially. Although I was doing totally fine, I wasn't like building wealth the way I had been in corporate America. But I didn't care because I was experiencing my life. Then I also had this dream of motherhood, and look out for what you wish for, because sincerely, without planning it, all of a sudden I was having a baby and I found myself so scared. I didn't know how it would work. I had done all of this. I had traveled the world alone. I'd been a top business executive. I did everything from riding motorcycles on the cliffs of the Indian Ocean in Africa to, climbing volcanoes in the middle of the night in Bali and scuba diving the Great Barrier Reef, whatever. But motherhood scared the life out of me.
It's a whole different game.
I was 40. I mean, my life was set. I'm used to freedom and free mornings and evenings and a flexible schedule and spontaneous trips. So and how was I going to provide and keep traveling? Well, the first couple of years, my daughter did travel quite a bit with me, although I scaled back. But my income was directly tied to my travel. So I had to once again reinvent my life.
Wow.
So I had been coaching throughout those past 10 years or so and going really into deep work with people to up-level their life or live to their higher potential or happier, healthier in my retreats and doing one-on-one work. But it wasn't until just my daughter was about 1 that I found that it really wasn't working, and I didn't know how to do it. And I was like I said, just really scared again. And I was so tempted to go back to corporate America. It was like, I mean, I just knew that my financial problems would be gone. We'd have structure. We'd have this homey stability. But when I even interviewed, I had job offers, and I'll tell you, my heart was in pain. I was like, yeah, I knew that my days would be like, I wouldn't have time with my daughter. So I had to really like get my priorities straight. And I came up with 2 priorities. And my first priority was to be there for my daughter and present and with her and the best mom I could be. But my second priority was to provide for her. And those priorities were really close. Like they had to both be right up there. I wasn't willing to do one without the other. So when I was kind of at the bottom of my barrel, so to speak, I felt like this is it. I actually invested money I did not have. I was nowhere near having this money, and I invested money in a coach, and I prayed, let this be the answer. I will do whatever they tell me. I need to make this happen. And I went in desperately, but committed and believing in myself. And it changed. Everything changed.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I went from $60,000 in debt, which I had never had a penny of debt in my life until I was 40. I never did, but I suddenly went down quickly. Because like I said, traveling, I wasn't really getting ahead. And then I went, within a couple of months, I was making $20,000 a month.
Wow. That's amazing.
And what that meant to me, share this, what that meant, because I want this for anyone watching. It wasn't about the money, although the money helped me provide for my daughter. It was like, this means I am where I'm meant to be on my path. The universe is supporting me, saying, yes, follow this. So you really know in your life, if you're honest with yourself, when it's working and when it isn't working. Quit bucking the current. Quit going the way that's not working, that more and more is not working in your life. It's a time to say stop right now. And there's another direction, and there is another way. I had no idea what that way was.
Until you're guided to the person and to the key. And that is why it's not necessarily me. It's not, do you know what I mean? It's whoever it is, but guaranteed being in this collective, being part of the soul legacy. We're living and leaving a soul legacy, and you're here for a reason. It's not an accident. We're vibrating. And you say it's not about money, and I agree in the sense of it's not about just contribution or contributing to the family or contributing in the world and then or going after the money, one or the other. And I made that decision. I want to have it all of it. Contribution freedom, health freedom, emotional freedom, environmental freedom, live where you want to live, right? Relationship freedom with your daughter, spiritual freedom, that connection, that yoga, and financial freedom. And it is about there's no like manual for parenting for a start. And there might be business manuals, but there's not life, and not every formula fits every single person. And it doesn't necessarily mean that if you try this and it doesn't work, it might be a tweak or an adjustment, something that you need to believe in that you can do, and making a decision. I love that you said I made a decision and it was in alignment with your values. So for me, the intentional living and the intentional living codes, that cheers to financial freedom, putting the pieces together the way that they actually work for you, and just making a decision and just going for it, just playing full out. And I love that you're so open. So guys, if you resonate with any of what Tara said, do comment, do say, I hear you, because it takes courage to come out from behind closed doors and do something different, but also to share your journey, because like you said, I was in corporate, I was doing really well, I was traveling. Who wants to say, actually, this is not, it's not in alignment and it's not working. But many times things are not working and we're just not reaching out and saying. So I invite you to reach out and say, Tara, that was me. Can you just, let's have a conversation. Let's share your gift for today.
I just wanted to make one quick comment on that. I think that there's two things to just really consider there or take into consideration.
Yeah.
One is being honest with yourself with where you're at now. Like you said, you could be in corporate America, or you could be doing anything. You could be in this relationship. You don't want to admit when it's really not working. It takes looking into your own eyes, feeling into your own heart, connecting with your soul and saying, I can't do this. It's not working. I'm not going to pretend and be positive. And then number two, so number one, be honest with yourself. Number two, trust yourself. So you can't like make that decision if you don't have the confidence and the trust in yourself that you do. There is something great out there for you and you deserve it.
Yeah, thank you. Belief was a big thing for me. I wanted to write the book of The Magic of Believing, and then I looked it up and it's like, okay, that's been written. I don't have to. I can just read it and share it. The Magic of Believing by Claude D. Bristol. He does visualizations and he does that looking in the mirror and looking at yourself honestly. So I love that. I have got the Facebook page open just in case you guys do comment, because I posted it over there. If you guys are on the YouTube, do comment, do leave any questions, and we will come back, right? So grab the gifts. This is the gift that Tara has brought today. So let me, so Tara, you do, well, I love this. I love anything that rhymes and anything that's memorable. So transformation with Tara, obviously, because she's gone through so many levels of transformation. We all do. And so you have, your gift is you have weekly inspiration via videos. I've seen your video blog, or whatever they are called. Are they blogs? I don't know. An email.
Yeah.
Okay. And your free meditation to manifest your most epic year. So obviously you have had epic years, and whether you are whether you've had struggle or strife, that still becomes part of your epic year. It's not all about just highs. I'm on a high, and like you said, I'm just pretending to be positive. There's something that might have a shift that is that catalyst that you turn around and you go, do you know what? That darkness has allowed me to step into my soul power and my light. So do share when you guys grab that, please do grab it. I went through the meditation and stuff. I've done a few notes, but yeah, take us through the process. Obviously, when you do meditations and things, people do them over and over, right? Just let us know when they grab it, what can they expect the experience?
I want to explain why it's so important, because meditation was not something that was always a part of my life. I always had a little interest in it. And I think if you're not used to it, it seems like you're just sitting there doing nothing, or it's a waste of your time, or like, what's the point? So I want to explain power, right? Like, I'll just sit here for a while and breathe. But it really gives you this opportunity to organize your mind and organize your thoughts and connect with your heart and connect with source. So whether you're spiritual or not, there's a deeper connection. There's an opportunity for greater depth in knowing thyself.
Yeah.
It's extremely important to find fulfillment in your business and in your life.
Yeah, definitely.
So what you can expect from this short guided meditation, I was at a very sacred space in Wyoming, in the mountains, between two mountain ranges when I did this. And I really took in the energy from nature and from the mountains and from spirit. And it was really about quieting the mind, that same process that I went through back in Bali 12 years ago or so, quieting the mind and listening to the heart. And then taking it another step to visualization, because when you start to visualize, your subconscious brain sees those images and recognizes the importance. So you will then start making decisions in your life accordingly. We don't realize that our subconscious mind actually controls at least 85–90% of our life.
Yes.
So, and we don't always realize it.
No, that's partly what Abby has was sharing in her free gift. She said about, and I was like, how many? I think she said 80%, 88%. And I was like, let me make a note on that, because we get told these things. And it's like, how do you recognize that? How do you but then when you say quiet your mind, excuse me, but the patterns are playing out in your mind, right? Subconscious or not, your patterns are playing out. So if it's not going according to the way that you love and you feel, like with you, Tara, it's like, well, this doesn't feel the way that I wanted it to feel. It doesn't feel in alignment. It's making me miserable. You're like, I'm not happy. I've gone through so many experiences where I'm like, okay, it's time to stop that now. I've kind of got the lessons. I'm a big believer in understanding and growing through the process, whatever that is, and then making a new choice. So I love that you talk about grounding and like the process that you take people through. You say about like rising higher, like the actual things that you take through in your meditation, and you took the nature and brought that in. So you suggest that you go through meditation in nature, or it's like the time of day?
It doesn't, there are times a day I suggest. It doesn't matter where you are, it matters what works for you. Yeah. I find my most grounded, connected place to be nature. I find a connection to spirit when I'm in nature. So I spend a lot of time at this Northwoods cabin because it feeds my soul in a way that I can be more creative in my business, in my writing, in my speaking, in my new business ideas. Yeah. I do want to comment on one thing you said a minute ago, and that was, you know, how powerful the subconscious is. We were talking about, and how you make that transformation. Yeah. So in order to create change in your life, you're thinking, I mean, I can see where viewers might think, well, how do I do it if my subconscious is leading the way and I don't even know about it? How do I make that shift? Yeah. So the only way to do it is to actually shift the thought patterns. And that's what I think you were speaking to, Iona. Yes. Like, how do you shift the thought patterns if you don't do anything different? And meditation can be really powerful. Working with a coach can be really powerful. Doing journaling exercises, talking to friends or a therapist, getting to know yourself. You need to daily do the work that you're putting different messages in your brain than what you've been doing before to actually interrupt the habitual thought patterns that you've had for probably most of your life. Yes,
definitely for most of your life. I love that. And I think that when you are told, oh, it's your subconscious and it's pattern, it's like, can I change it? Can I address it? Like you said, meditation and slowing down and seeing what's going on. And I love journaling. Do you journal? And Abby's going to come and try and join us. I'm going to try and learn.
It's a daily practice. Absolutely. As much as I mean, as many days as I can, I would say, but really, really beneficial in giving me some of my best business ideas and just even life ideas, changes in life and where I need to create it, where I'm at today and what I want to accomplish, how I'm feeling about situations that might be painful and actually journaling my way out of them. It blows my mind. I'm like, oh my God, did I just like work through that on my own? And journaling really can give you that tool to recognize when you're making up a story about something, attaching drama to what's just fact or reality. So it's not always what happened to us, it's what we make it mean.
Yeah, I love journaling. I've journaled for years. I do more digital because I have learning dyslexia. So like writing out by hand, I know that's like really amazing, but I do digital. And guys, let us know, like for, if you guys meditate, let us know. And if you do journaling, or if you do notice the patterns in your life and they're repeating and it's kind of like, it feels like a battle or a struggle. Usually we have cycles in our lives or repeating patterns that we're kind of like, how do I shift that? Like you said, you had to rebuild your life so many times. It's like, why is it not working for me? Right. So Tara, can you take us through a little bit? I know that you talk about your retreats and you talk about the process, and I love that all of it. So guys, when you go to Tara's site, you'll see videos and all the transformation with Tara, and you talk about your retreats and the process. Can you tell me like your blueprint, your signature that you say, absolutely? I know that you talked about clarity, and manifesting. People try and manifest and try and force it rather than going within. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Trying to find the answers on the outside will only create more clutter in your mind. So the more people that you try to talk it through with, the more it actually doesn't work. Because now you've talked to your mom and your dad and your partner and your best friend and Joe and Jim and Susie, and you have all of their opinions that just jumbled everything up in your mind. That's why this quiet time of meditating will actually give you the answers from within of what you really think. Because how is it possible that anyone else could know what's right for your soul? Just like you don't know what's right for anyone else's soul. It's one of the lessons in letting go of judgment of ourselves and of others. So that is one of the first steps in manifestation, and in the work that I do with people to really create their dream life in business and in all aspects of life. It's to do the inner work, go within, find clarity. And that's the first step. And that's really important. But there's 3 other steps I go through, and it takes more than just kind of announcing them here. But
I know when people say clarity, that it's like, well, I don't know what that is. Like, so would the meditation and the journaling help, or just reaching out?
All of it. You do have to. If you don't know where you want to go, how can the universe support you?
Yeah.
And if you want to just like not make a decision, you'll stay stuck and you'll stay in the same place.
Right.
So it's like life paralysis.
Yeah.
Instead of allowing yourself to take a step.
Yeah. Hi, Abby. Thank you. Hello, my love. So, guys, obviously with the Tele-Chat series, this is the usual format. So Abby and Tara are going to say hi. Abby, where are you in the world?
I am in Los Angeles.
I was right. Was I right? Did I say LA?
You did.
I did. All right. So welcome. So Tara was sharing about one of the last things that we were sharing was about your subconscious. And I know that you're really big on that. So we're going to kind of dive into that together and respect everybody's time. So we won't go on too long, but if you do have any questions or you want to grab the freebies, go ahead. So Tara's really that person that you go to align your life, align your business, but get still. And part of that manifesting process, I know that you share in your gifts. So I will give you an introduction just so we know who it is that's hopping into the room with us. And you can make yourself comfortable. Hopefully you've got some tea or some water. Yeah, and just relax. And Tara, thank you so much for, just holding space. I really appreciate it. So Abby, let me give you an introduction. I do have notes. All right. So Abi Levine is a leading soul restoration coach, wealth advocate, and angel communicator. Right. So Tara was sharing, Abby, about the struggles and, how she has a daughter, she has a child, and being in corporate and just that journey being crazy and traveling. So I know that you guys will resonate. So let me just share your story and then you can put it into your own words. So despite many of the challenges that Abby has experienced in life, her ability to overcome them and get back in the driver's seat of life, which Tara's great at, has inspired her to teach other people how to do the same, right? And making a lucrative income doing what you love. So she's been voted the best at what she does in her hometown 5 years in a row. Well done, you. And the best of Los Angeles. So I should have known that 3 years in a row. So she's thrilled to be involved with the project and finally in the room. So if you guys don't know, we had some techie glitches and time zones, but you're here now. So you're able to share some of the beautiful things that you've learned. And so Tara, you can see why I wanted you guys in the room together, right? So Abby, share a little bit. What went on this morning? And then 2, how your story unfolded. So, oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Let me unmute you.
Oops. Yes.
Yeah.
Aha. I'm so sorry, guys. Thank you so much for all of your grace and compassion. I set my alarm clock for the wrong time and woke up an hour too late. And I was like, I literally woke up. I'm not going to curse because you know me, I'm big on cursing, but I don't know about your audience. So I was just like,
do it. Do it.
That's literally how I woke up this morning. And I was like, no. So I'm so honored that you actually like continued to hold the space and that I'm still welcome to even speak. Like that's really beautiful. And I so appreciate that. Thank you.
You're amazing. So shine your light, sister. Let us know how you've come to do what you're doing, because Abi's
man. Okay, I'm gonna give you the, you know, the cereal box version. Yeah, the quick snippet 5-minute version. So raised in foster care, raised with a lot of abuse. I've faced all the abuses, abandonment, rejection. I've been homeless 4 times. I was homeless as a single mom. And I know we resonate on that level. And so there just came a time in my life where I was literally like, what the fuck? Is my life supposed to be this way? Like that, it doesn't seem like I was supposed to be living like this. And so I took my healing on and I realized that it was time to stop blaming everyone around me. It was time to stop blaming my mom. It was time to stop blaming my abusers. It was time to stop blaming my foster mother or, you know, other people who had mistreated me, because I was freaking almost 30 years old. It was time to take responsibility for my own life. Yeah. And so I started my healing journey. I started learning all kinds of healing modalities, and they were so effective that I just couldn't help but start a private practice. And so I built up my private practice. I got my, you know, awards, whatever. And I was working 60 hours a week in my private practice as a single mom. And I was making pretty good money, but I still never saw my kid. I still was exhausted. I still was like, wait, is this what life is too? Like I'm supposed to take my passion and then burn myself to the ground doing this. And I realized that I had to heal my relationship with money, because it was my fear that kept me working 60 hours a week, that kept me seeing far more clients than I had the capacity to actually see. Yeah. And so as I healed my relationship with money and fixed my mindset, and I was listening to some of what Tara was saying before I hopped on. So I totally see why you wanted us in the same room.
Yes.
It's about mindset and vibration and things like that too with money, which is perfect. Yeah, and as I heal my relationship with money, you know, I doubled, tripled, quadrupled. I 16x'd my income from one year to the next, which was unprecedented. I was okay. So during that journey, through a long, I'm not sure if you're on my email list, but I have an email specifically about my story, about how I got connected with my angels, and it wasn't. It was certainly a series of mishaps. It wasn't like I sat and meditated and Angel Michael appeared. It was like my hair was on fire and all of this. Yeah, absolutely. And then I got connected with the angels, and then they started downloading information to me like about, it's not about the money, it's about the mission. But the light leaders that are here, that are stuck in their trauma, are so worried about their money that they can't ever launch their mission, because all they can worry about is okay, am I going to be able to have a roof over our heads next month? Yeah. And so they shared with me that that's part of my mission, is to activate and heal the light leaders, but then help them get in a wealth vibration so that they can go out and fund the orphanages and fund the projects that they have and do all that stuff. So I was able to create Millionaire Mindset Mastery in 2019 in February of this year. And to date, this is absolutely insane, but to date, my members have made over $84 million. Like, that is absolutely crazy. Like, what? And I don't deal with strategy, and I don't deal with business stuff, and I don't talk about I took a little bit about marketing, but only from my own perspective. Like that is literally just getting mindset, energy, vibration and alignment with the wealth vibration, and then boom, miracles happen. Like it's absolutely insane. So my cereal box version.
Thank you. So guys, I told you she's worth the wait, and it's not because that was the intention, but it definitely is a conversation. And so our stories collectively, and if we resonate, I know you guys are, because you're here for a reason, right? When we're sending, when we're sitting and coming from all over the world and sending out that vibration, you are here in this conversation for a reason. And it's time. It's time. And you might not be hitting your rock bottom, or you might, but up leveling and growing and living your life intentionally is something that for me, for you, is there's no choice. There is no other way, right? You have to create your life with intention, because you only get one. As Tara said, you just get one, and we don't know. So what are you doing today? And the mindset. So Tara shared, I don't know how much you heard, but Tara did share her free gift. So I'll share yours because it's kind of in alignment. And Tara, do you want to jump in on that? And I'll just pull Abby's gift up.
Jump in on
just like anything that Abby's sharing.
Sure, Abby. First of all, it's so great to meet you here.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm so sorry for messing with your schedule. Thank you for being flexible.
Of course. Secondly, I absolutely love that's what I feel, that you connected with your angels, and it helped, pave the way, because it is really what I believe happens in meditations. And that's what I was sharing, just not saying it in the same words, but I will share about angels often when I'm working with people more closely, that it's like your angels are surrounding you and supporting you and giving you the messages if you just quiet the mind and listen, and it's there, and ask the questions, and then nothing. And the answer
yes.
It's so amazing.
Shush your mind.
Yeah, it's so amazing. So I'm with you 100%. And I think it is a phenomenal, magical phenomenon that you can a discovery, that when you start to get this, and then you apply, system and strategy, but it's really about like getting into that space of who you really are and living through. And the rest happens magically.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And it's so true when you talk about it. It's a lot about knowing who you are, because I've had a lot of business coaches, and they've all been amazing, and they've all been supportive, incredible on my journey. But what I realized is that although someone can teach you strategy, no one can teach you how you're supposed to show up. No one can teach you what you're supposed to say. What is the hook? Nobody can teach you what are the actual words that you need to say in order to connect with your community. And the more in alignment and the closer you are to your original soul identity, it literally, like your message literally goes out on the vibrations that you're sending while you're speaking. You could be speaking a totally different language, and your community will still absolutely receive what it is that you're sending out.
Yeah, I love that. You guys rock. So let me, you just do. I want to respect your time though. So Abby, your gift, again, Tara's gift is also below. So you both are on, Tara, yours is a video, and you have lots of videos and loads of great content. And so yours is like some training. And one of the things that I notice is that people are behind closed doors, and like you said, you don't know necessarily what it is that you're saying, so you don't want to necessarily be on camera. I'm not a fan of camera, but if you then record something that is like a free gift or a training, and you're getting your gifts out there, and you use video in that way, it is super powerful. So I do say connect. It's a deeper connection. So I love that you bring this. So thank you. So yours is your divine money activation, obviously. So it is a free 1-hour class teaching 3 major shifts that you learn in order to get out of struggle, and scarcity into a multiple six-figure business. And most importantly, which I love, is live a life of love, ease, and grace. And that's exactly what you've said. And that's what we believe in. That's what we stand for. So when you honor what it is that you believe in, what you stand for, what's inside of you, it emanates and brings people around you that has those beliefs. So you go, oh, I'm not crazy. It's not
yes,
right? So do share what, when everyone goes and grabs that, what will they experience as a result?
I love it. Okay, so there's going to be some emotional shifts. There's going to be some mental shifts.
Right.
There's going to be some actual things that will start to happen. Like I've had people watching my free class because I do free classes all the time, but I've had people on my free class go, whoa, a client, I just got a new lead from a client and I can't take it because I'm watching this video, but oh my God, I've been trying to get a hold of this person forever. Or, oh my gosh, like I sent so-and-so a contract 6 months ago and they just wired me the $2,500 deposit for the contract, or, oh my God, I just like I'm watching the video and I just opened my jeans and there's $50, so like it actually creates the shift that you need to get out of that energetic alignment because of reticular activation. And what's funny is I love blending spirit and science because to me spirit is simply manifests itself in science. Like it's almost like abundance is the vibration and money is the manifestation of abundance. It's like, this is how you see money. So, with reticular activation, if you can just train your mind to suddenly start to notice where there is enough money, where you do have enough to pay your bills, where you have enough coming in, where the universe is trying to bring you money and bring you little gifts, but you're either denying them or you're not noticing them or you're not valuing them. It's like when you buy a new car, right? You're like, you spend weeks trying to pick out the just right car, and then you pick one and it feels so like good, and you try it on, it feels like you have your new skin, and all of a sudden every single person on the road is driving the same car.
They park right next to you, like
Totally. You're sitting next to them at the stoplight and they're parking next to you, or they'll park on either side of you, and you're like, wait, why did I never notice this before? It's because there's a part of your brain that turns on when something becomes important to you. So that's what I do with this class, with the money vibration, with the money frequency.
I love that. So when you say about so in the class, because I've watched it, guys, so you talk about, and I don't know if you believe this or you are in alignment with this as well, Tara, you say that affirmations, boldly, you say affirmation, but I know the reason behind it, but affirmations don't work, declarations don't work, saying it out loud doesn't work. All this stuff, people are like, what? Are you crazy? So, and I love that you say alchemy, the word alchemy. So my guest earlier, Wendy, she does her like a money assessment and alchemy. And then I went on somebody else's like alchemy, and somebody pulled me a card, alchemy. So I believe that vibration comes. But why do you say that affirmations, declarations, and saying it out loud doesn't work before everybody like comments and says, what are you talking about?
I got lit up.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So here's the thing. If we have limiting beliefs in our mind, because our unconscious mind controls about 95% of our day, no matter what words we say out loud, no matter what we look at, no matter how many times we talk through a problem, if the limiting belief exists that says that this is not possible for you, it actually clears it right out of your conscious mind and prevents it from accessing your unconscious mind. There are very few things that can access your unconscious mind. Meditation is one of them, because meditation is a type of hypnosis. So you could, for example, say a mantra, affirmations to yourself in meditation that's going to have a much higher potential, of actually manifesting in your everyday life. But just the affirmation itself, because most people don't know how to craft the affirmation in a way that the unconscious mind won't instantly reject it. Exactly. You've got a 95% chance of the affirmation being rejected. And we're told to set the affirmation in the present, right? You got to make it present, which is not necessarily wrong. But if you try to tell yourself, I'm a millionaire, your mind's going, no, you're fucking not. No, you're not a millionaire. Look in your
What bullshit?
Exactly. I am a millionaire. I am affluent. I am, da 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 da. Your mind is literally going, huh? Nah. Yeah. So to restructure the affirmation that says, I am open to receiving the resources that will take me to my first $1 million would be a much more
aligned.
Absolutely. Your unconscious mind could actually could receive that and go, okay, yeah, I can believe that. So affirmations have to be right at the sweet spot where your mind goes, okay, yeah, I can buy into that for a second. But they have to actually push your boundaries a little bit as well. So that you are stretching your unconscious beliefs outside of the comfort zone. So that's why most people cannot craft their own affirmations in a way that will be effective for them, because they don't know. Like, you write an affirmation, today I will make $1,000. Well, the first thing your mind goes into overdrive is, no, you won't. Like, let me tell you all of the reasons why you're not going to make $1,000 today. I've got a bunch. How long have you got?
I love that. So Tara, so when you were saying, things are working, you were doing well, but things were going off. Did you use any affirmations, or did you get into the vibration? Do you use any affirmations when you do meditation? What does that look like for you, and what's your perspective on that?
Actually, I'm completely in alignment with what Abby is saying. I have a strong belief in the power of retraining the thought patterns of the mind, but I think you have to be careful of owner manifesting, right? So and that's exactly what I think she's speaking to, that you choose, you start focusing on the lack or the scarcity when you're really trying to do quite the opposite. So when I work with my clients, I will say, so what is it that you can get on board with? Like, I'm not like I'm happy and healthy every day. I'm on my path to being happy and healthy. Like, I'm getting happier and healthier every day. Then it's like, yes, I am. I really am. And I'm doing it. I'm believing myself and I'm choosing it. And when you make a choice, a firm decision, and you can trust in yourself, that's when your actions and your life follows in accordance with that.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like there's a vibration. I know. Yes. I was singing the roof yesterday. Exactly. So I just the vibration of it, the energy of it. So we don't hear and notice what goes on in the subconscious mind because it's in the subconscious, right? But we know like the things that are playing out. So if you're saying your affirmations, do you guys say affirmations? Do you say declarations? Do you say things out loud? I like, excuse me, I like to soul speaking to existence. So it's that feeling, that knowing within, it's body, it's a full body. It's not just you speak it, it's that full body feeling, right? And so I love that it just because somebody tells you, oh, well, this will work, that worked for me, doesn't mean to say that everything you try on is going to work for you. So try things and then say, actually, and consistently, like, not just, oh, well, I tried it once, it did not work. And that's not the idea. It's like consistently for a period of time and start to believe it and notice it. Like you say, your mind says, reject certain things. Like, okay, how can I have that in a softer way? Just not forgetting about your dreams or your goals or, having the things that you want in your life and your work and balancing them. And I love what you said, Tara, with you had your daughter, right? And you wanted to provide for her. That is your subconscious mind is going to go, absolutely. Like it's your conviction. You're convicted to that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, there is no other way to that. And I feel like sometimes we might say, oh, I think I kind of would like this. I kind of would like whatever somebody's saying online, which is the next trend, but it's not really for you on your soul path. Like, why? What is your soul why behind it? How is it going to affect you? How is it going to affect your family? So we all have daughters, right? and obviously my son and my granddaughter, because I'm older than you guys. So, so do you know what I mean? So just know why, right? Just
knowing why. And you said something really like so spot on. It's like, it's knowing why, but also feeling the resonance of that and the vibration of that, feeling your truth, feeling what works for you. Like, just because I don't believe in the majority of affirmations for the majority of people does not mean in any way, shape, or form that the person who's in the office next door to me is going to have that same experience.
Yes.
They might create affirmations, they might push through them, they might make a decision and hit it anyway. And that's awesome. And I hope that they do, right?
Yeah.
We all receive and digest consciousness in our own way, and every single way is right for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why the entire journey has to be about constantly staying in alignment, knowing who you are, knowing what you want. And I love that you speak from your soul, because that's the thing that will manifest. It's our soul that can influence consciousness. It's our soul that creates, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's our soul that has the power to actually put the stuff that we want around us. So it's beautiful.
That's why the soul legacy. So I want to make a couple of points, and I will respect your time. So one thing is like overgiving is what you talk about. So that's that burnout and doing things. I know that you both have had that in your corporate life and that journey of overgiving. So I want to manifest something, but I'm just going to just go so full at it and just be burnt out. And the other thing is, because you mentioned soul, is you mentioned the book, The Untethered Soul. Now that is like, so in the training, you mentioned The Untethered Soul, and that's Barry and I's favorite book. And we said again the other day, we'll listen to it again together. And having that alignment and having that partner or somebody around you to really support you. And guys, come into the Soul Legacy collective, bring in an accountability buddy, because it's in numbers, in power. Do you know what I mean? There's power in numbers. Mm-hmm. And there's power in the collective. You don't have to do it alone. Like you said, Tara, you reached out, and do you know what I mean? You don't have to do it alone. My journey was a really lonely journey. So I want to speak to overgiving before I wrap up. So like serving from that empty cup, right? So speak to that, and then I'll ask you as well, Tara, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, absolutely. So serving from an empty cup actually has the opposite effect of what we're trying to create, right? So it actually, the tendency for us to serve from an empty cup comes from a soul wound. It comes from a wound that we've received as a child, that we are only valid when we're serving. And where do we get this from? We get this from our mothers, our aunts, our older sisters, our best friends, our friends and family, that you only have a purpose that is valid when you are doing a something, right? And so we have to constantly like prove to the world that we deserve. Oh, all of this amazing stuff that I have, I deserve it. So I'm going to constantly be in action, because if I were to sit back at the spa for 5 days, I suddenly am out of deserving, right? Yeah. And so when we serve from an empty cup, we're teaching our daughters, this is how we're supposed to be, right? We're reinforcing the sisterhood wound, that we don't have value unless we're serving. We are creating anti-karma, because all of the good that we're doing is being immediately canceled out because we are hurting ourselves in the process. Yeah. So when we're hurting ourselves, it's creating negative karma that completely balances out and cancels out the positive karma that we're doing.
Yeah, and we don't understand that.
Right. And when we serve from a place of misery, because nobody can overgive forever and not be like just freaking miserable, right? You're sick, you're lying in your bed for days because you're trying to recalibrate, you're trying to replenish your cup. When we're miserable, we're adding more misery to the planet. Like sadness begets sadness, and happiness begets happiness. And so that's why one of my, like, it's a very controversial topic to talk about on my Facebook page, but I believe that serving ourselves and making our own happiness is number one. Like, I have a lot of people who disagree with me on that on a very regular basis. And I don't care, because
Yes.
I truly believe it to the core. Is if we're happy, everybody around us is happy. When we're serving from a full cup, everybody around us is getting the juiciest, most loved up part of us. And it's just delicious and gorgeous. And it's like, we're just vibrating like beyond the planet. Like, it's just so gorgeous. Yeah.
I love that. Thank you. That is amazing. So Tara, do speak to that, because I totally am like, yes. And I hear that in your story as well.
Yeah, what I really, one of the phrases that has come to me is to treat yourself, and advice I'd want to tell anyone watching, treat yourself, imagine treating yourself as the person that you love the most.
Oh my gosh.
And what advice would you give yourself if you were the person that you love the most, if you can actually step into that energy? Because you deserve that love, and you will show up in a different way with actually taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself, such as Abi explains. I completely agree. You raise your own vibration, you shine your own light from within, and then other people around you want their light to shine. You're now inspiring. You're not like dragging on people's energy, because they're like, then they're worried about you. They're like, oh, do we need to take care of her? Do we need to check on her? No, it's like, I got this, and you can do it too. Yes. I think that I just want to leave with those two things. One is treat yourself as the person you love the most, to know that you deserve the best out of this life, and to really, what Iona, you both were speaking to earlier, was getting clear on your why. And it's not just financial freedom, then you're like missing it. You have to go deep, deep, deep within. And when you talked about my daughter, even a minute ago, like, it still hit me with almost a tear. Like, yes, that's my survival. That's my purpose for living. That's what matters right now. Like, I have to do it, and I will do it. Yeah. And I will help and guide and inspire others along the way to love their lives, live true to their soul. And I will be that example for my daughter and give us an amazing life, because I love myself and I love her.
Oh, thank you, guys. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you guys for being patient. And so for those of you who don't know, this episode was supposed to go out earlier, but I wanted to hold space for just this. Do you know what I mean? And when you are guided by your soul, things that look like they're not working out for you, work out for you magically. So guys, I really, really do appreciate that. So I'm going to wrap up. And I do say, make a decision to change your tribe and change your vibe. Do something on the outside, not just change your vibe, change your tribe, be around. Go and get the gifts for a start, because that's changing. Just go and get them and join in the conversation. Let us know. I'm a big implementer. I am massive in implementing in things that are in alignment. I don't do things by accident or happenstance. This is no accident. This is the call of my soul. And for those of you who don't know, that my son made the transition in the middle of my event that I was doing, the 49 Soul Speaker Summit. I knew that was part of my calling. I had no idea. Hit your rock bottom is just an understatement. So I do this for myself, my granddaughter, my son, and my daughter, and my partner, all my family. It's so, so important. So I want to encourage you to do the same. Just tap into that love. It's love. It sounds like cliche, but like, that is what we've got. So that is all I wanted to say. So I'm going to wrap up, guys. I've got some notes, so I'm just going to have a look at these. So if you want to join me in the after show, I feel like there's many different places that you can go to get information, but it's the things that happen after the show. It's the things that you absorb, the things that you reflect on, the habits and the decisions that you decide to lean into to actually change your life, because it doesn't just happen like by itself. Things won't just whack you on the head and then your life transforms. That's not the way it works. So I feel personally very blessed to support soul guided entrepreneurs to manifest and maintain more soul client income, soul family influence, and soul tribe impact. So that is what the Soul Legacy TV is about. And so if you would like to start a movement with your message and bank 50K in 50 days, because we're talking about the contribution and the financial freedom, then my gift is the Soul Legacy School for Soul Path Alignment. So that will be down below as well. So we are here to pay tribute to the people that are in our lives now. So don't get so busy and not pay attention to the people that are in our lives and in your life and in my life. You know, that is really huge for me. And I say that because I've done it where I have been so busy. So I'm inviting you to just pause for a second, right? Binge watch on a Wednesday with us, right? And so for those who have made their transition, and for those who are going to come into our life, you see the impact, the family that just changed the trajectory of your life, the relationships, that's what it's all about. And so we only get one life, make it count. And I want to say, I invite you to go up the emotional scale with me and with my guests. So I was in fear. I was stuck in fear of failure, fear of success, and fear of selling, right? And it's not the best place to build your business, and it's not the best place to have your life manifest. It just doesn't unfold the way that you really want it to when you're stuck in the lower vibrations. So you go up the emotional scale gradually. Sometimes it's high, sometimes it's lows, but freedom and love is the Cheers to Financial Freedom frequency. And those are the conversations that we want to have and to support you, and appreciation, right? So I invite you to subscribe to the channel. We do have another episode. We have Binge Watch Wednesdays, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. on a Wednesday for each of the seasons. I will say, remember to turn your wounds into wisdom. Don't be a wounded light worker. I dare you to be legend. Hashtag legendary light leaders. I'm sending you so much love. And guys, is there anything that you want to add to the conversation before we hop off? You can go first, Tara.
That's beautiful. Turn your wounds into wisdom. It just hit me, and I haven't heard you say that before. And absolutely, that is how we evolve and stop victimization and move into empowerment. And just thank you for having me. It was amazing to meet you, Abby, and see and feel your beautiful energy. And what a beautiful movement that you're doing, Iona, to really help change people's lives and make a tremendous impact on the world.
Thank you. Abby?
Yes. Okay, so let's get real, darling. If you are watching this right now, it means that you are called to serve your mission. It doesn't matter if you don't feel ready. It doesn't matter if you don't know how, but you are a light leader for the consciousness revolution, okay? So you need, whatever it is, to take a step forward and start honoring your journey. Even if the first step is to find out what your mission is, do it today.
Thank you.
The world needs you.
Thank you. Yes. So you'll find the gifts. Come over to the collective. Continue on the conversation. Don't let it stop there. Don't let that be something that you just take and then you walk away and then you get on with your life and you go, what was that thing that we do? Yeah, it's really important that you do that now. So guys, I love you. I really appreciate you coming in and just lighting up my world. Honestly, today has just shown me something about myself and my values and just staying in alignment with my vibration. So I'm always high vibe. Well, most of the time. so I love you, and I'll still speak to you soon, guys. Take care.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Tara, it was so nice